Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Spin Cycle, the show for a quick review of albums new and old. And today I'm going to be talking about a band called Aephanemer. It's a new band, so I'm going to approach this one a little bit differently than I normally do because it's a relatively new band and there isn't a lot of background info. And I will be talking about both of their releases to date. So Aephanemer is a French quartet that was originally a solo project for guitarist Martin Hamish, and their music is definitely melodic death metal in the similar vein as bands like Insomnium and Dark Tranquillity. They definitely have this powerful symphonic undertone that makes their music even more epic. They're currently an unsigned band, an independent band, and they released their debut album last year, 2016. Know Thyself was their first EP, which was released by Martin Hamish in 2014. My first exposure to this band was based on a recommendation from a Facebook friend, and when I heard the song Path of the Wolf, I was absolutely blown away. It might be one of my favorite songs that I found last year. Now, the EP was inspired by Scandinavian melodic death metal, and you can definitely hear homages to Dark Tranquillity in it. The EP is entirely instrumental, 6 songs, and they were all songs that Martin developed before Aephanemer was born as a band. It even drew the attention of Dark Tranquillity guitarist Niklas Sundin, who actually helped with the album design. Now, the guitar work on this EP is absolutely fantastic. It is pure melody and mastery. It's sonic storytelling. Everything else is fairly basic, but it was meant to be a showcase for Martin's vision. There wasn't even a band yet. The remaining members didn't even join until 2015 when this was released. But just this music alone was enough to draw a lot of attention to Hamish. Every song is superb, starting with Resilience and including crushers like Inner Storm. But like I said, Path of the Wolf is just remarkable and a great jumping off point for this band. So then their debut album, Memento Mori, was released in 2016. Obviously the sound is much different given it has the full band behind it. Sundin helped once again with the album production, as did Masej Dawadek, who helped with the sound on the EP. And the album was recorded at Hamish's home studio as well as the studio experiences in Toulouse, France. I know, I'm butchering everything. This gave us our first impression of their sound as a band. Vocalist Marianne Basul, also the rhythm guitarist of the band, really brings a black death metal vibe to the band. She actually reminds me a lot of Angela Gossow of Arch Enemy fame. And then drummer Mikael Bonneville definitely sets a fast pace with solid melodic death metal percussion. And though I can't hear it very well, bass player Anthony Delma meshes well with the guitar work on the album. Musically, this album builds on Hamish's original vision, melodic death metal with a symphonic core. And as a complete album, it is mind-blowing how strong the music is, and it's good production too. The vocals are still pretty raw, but the style definitely works well for the overall sound. I will say that Marianne actually sounds a little bit like a death metal version of Edith Piaf. Of course, the biggest attraction to this album is the guitar work, but the band as a whole is much fuller when you have all the pieces working together. So my top 4 tracks on the album are Unstoppable, which sets the tone for the album right off the bat. Gilgamesh, which is this magnificent instrumental finale. Sisyphus's Bliss, which is just fun to say, is also a very solid, fun track. And then The Call of the Wild is another great example of their skill working together. But my favorite song on the album has to be Rage and Forgiveness. It is melodic, it is dark, and it is just crushing. Overall, this is definitely a band to watch. In a saturated market, it's often hard to find strong new acts, but Aephanemer is one of the strongest I've heard in a long time. Now, I am biased because of my love for melodic death metal, but their talent is undeniable. From Hamish's instrumental EP to their full-length album, the band is proving to be a reckoning force. If they can bring their sound on tour with some larger bands and maybe even tour somewhere like Japan or the United States, they will quickly become a fan favorite guaranteed. And this is a remarkable young band, and I am excited to see where their future takes them. And you know me, once I get excited about something, forget about it. So my top 5 for the week, still mostly Finnish metal, but that's because I'm getting pumped for my trip. Lathian by Catatonia off of Dead End Kings. That's a great dark track. To Homeguard and Beyond by Teresas off the Varangian Way. New Moon by Swallow the Sun off of New Moon. That song is just in my head like all the time now. Black Winter Day by Amorphous off of Black Winter Day, old school, dark, death metal Amorphous. And then Sadness and Hate by Winter Sun off of Winter Sun. Very excited to hear he's got a new album coming out very soon. Hopefully I've inspired you to go check out Aephanemer and let me know what you think when you hear them. If you have heard them, let me know just how awesome they are, because if you've heard them, you know. And that does it for this episode of Spin Cycle, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Nice work. Good job. If you like what you saw, you can just go ahead and click that subscribe button for all videos past and future. You can also head over to my website and see all the other stuff that I do, including the books I've written. So go ahead, click stuff.